Alright. Hey gang, it's Sob. So, I'm just making this little video for someone who was curious about how Elphelt works for beginners and how you can, start playing the character. Before we exactly dive into Elphelt herself, there's a couple things I think you need to know as a beginner. So, first of all, you need to know your number pad, or, the directions on the pad. So if you look in the bottom left, you'll see that you'll notice my cursor, or for me, my joystick. This is the direction pad. So the way fighting game players use this is divided into a few numbers, or just 3 numbers really. Now, I'm not a fighting game savant, and if you already know fighting games, you know how this works. But there's only 3 things you really need to know about. There's 5, which is the middle position. There's 6, which is this one, which is like walking, and then there's 2. So for the remainder of this video, if you're wondering why I say something like 2K, 2D, or 6P, or 5K, or just standing, that's what I'm referring to. So with that out of the way, another thing, CS means close slash, this button. So you'll notice that I'm doing standing, this is far slash. When I'm up next to Kai, this is close slash. So that's just some knowledge. So for Elphelt herself, to get started, there's not really much you need to know. There's a couple things that are really important about Elphelt's kit to get you started, which is her close slash. She has a lot of abilities off of close slash. There you go. And it's just very convertible. So, like, let's say close slash, heavy. Okay, you can't convert. Close slash, 1 heavy, broken Charlotte, and then Roman cancel, 6H, bomb, dust, 2D. Also, you should know, this, when I'm referring to moves, this is what I'm referring to. So, this is 6P, this is 6H, this is just the follow-up. Charlotte, we're not going to talk about this much because it's not really applicable to learning. It's still a good move. It's to keep your distance as Elphelt. But Elphelt's a very rush-down character. You want to be in their face, so it's not going to help most of the time, in my experience. Miss Charlotte is a very fast movement, brings you very far. Oop, oop, oop. There you go. And it's very, very nice for combos. Far slash hits, as it says, far. But it also leads to some pretty good round starts. Like that. Her wild assault, it's red. Something I've noticed just by playing a long time is that beginners and just a lot of people for some reason in like lower ranks of the tower or just in general don't like to use their wild assault. Now, as a beginner, I don't think you should be trying to focus on wild assault combos, but you should get it into your brain early that it's not a bad idea to use wild assault instead of Roman cancel, or not Roman cancel, burst. Burst is obviously extremely good if someone's pressuring you extremely hard and you gotta burst in. It resets the tempo of the game and you can have a chance to regroup and attempt to fight them again. But if you're already doing something to the enemy and you've got them pressured, it is not a bad idea to use Wild Assault to continue things. Wild Assault is pretty much a reset on your own combo. Because off that round star, I wouldn't be able to do anything else. I could try and do that, but they have time to shield now, they have time to burst, they have time to perfect block, deflect shield. With Wild Assault, I'm right in their face again, and I'm right up here, and wall's broken. So, while I don't think that you should be using Wild Assault all the time, and you should definitely not be using it so much as a beginner, I don't think it's a bad idea to like try and find where it's applicable. Because burst is an important mechanic in Guilty Gear, but Wild Assault is also equally as important. So, with that out of the way, next thing, Bomb. Bomb Bomb Chocolat. This is probably her best move, in my opinion. It's an overhead, you get some serious work off of it, and you can do stuff like that. Now, before I continue this, I do want to say that this, I'm not going to be showing you combos. I don't think learning combos is going to help in the beginning. You just need to know your character first. Obviously, I'll show you some things you can do, but I'm not going to be teaching you how to do stuff like this. Because this took me a while, even myself. And I've been playing Elphelt for months. So, if you're expecting that, you can watch my previous video on the 5 Elphelt combos I like to use the most. But this isn't about that. So, Bomb is an overhead, and it completely changes the side of the map you're on. So, if we go over here, now I'm facing this way, Kai's facing the other way. It's a really good mix-up tool, and it allows you to do some cool stuff like that. Now, oops, yeah, there you go. Now, Bomb is a bit of a weird move as well, just because of the fact that, you know, it changes direction, and you have a couple options you can go off of it. You can dash, I believe, back. You can dash back and do what I was doing with the super, the dust here, with that, or you can just, you know, hold up. You can just run over and try and get some other stuff done if you don't have burst and wild assault. It's just really good to reset tempo, and it's extremely important in learning a lot of what Elphelt can do. You can close slash off of it now since season 4, and it's just extremely powerful as well. It's a very good mix-up tool, so highly recommend you start using it. A move equally as important is her Chain Lollipop, or as you'll probably hear a lot of people call it, the Rekka. So, Elphelt's Rekka is a tool that a lot of beginners just kind of gravitate towards because, you know, it's free damage for pressing the same button over and over. But it's not exactly good to use it like that because, you know, Elphelt being out for a while, people have already found out, like, the best way to counter it, the best way to stop it before happening or in the middle of its tracks. So the way I use Elphelt Rekka is something like, oops, close slash 2D Rekka, and brings him over to the corner. So one more time. You can also do stuff like this, but it's not a bad idea to also mix up how you use it, because there's 3 endings. So there's heavy slash ending, which launches them a bit back. There's kick, which is a under, and then there's K, which is just another follow-up. You can also just keep pressing Y, I guess, but I don't recommend that in the slightest. Because the whole way the Rekka works is that, you know, it's 2 different moves, or 2 chain moves going at the same time. So, that being said, those are some of Elphelt's most important moves. So, we have our overdrives as well now. Something you should know, this one. This got changed this season, so if you're new to Guilty Gear and you were playing Elphelt or just playing a bit before Season 4 release, then Elphelt's super used to it used to just be on a timer, like if you wait. There we go. It used to only be on a timer, and it used to not be a strike. Now what I mean by a strike is when I do this, it breaks the wall. It didn't do that before because it was a command grab. Command grabs are, here if I can, I don't know if I'll be able to see. Hold on, I can change the guy to Soul. There we go. So that's a command grab. It's a very powerful grab that can be launched up during any attack. So Elphelt's that used to be a command grab. Now that it's been switched, you can get stuff like what I was doing earlier. So, yep, there you go. This wouldn't have broken the wall before, but now it does. So we get a wall break. We get wall break damage, and we can continue. And you can do stuff like that, and that's where it gets really nitty and gritty and really hard to master Elphelt. But if you're ever using this, just remember that if you're close to a wall, it's best to end with this, because it'll break the wall, and they'll keep the bombs on into the next stage or next part of the stage, so you can get reset. And they'll have to either attack you as fast as they can, or just get hit and blown up. Her other super, or overdrive, this, big damage, nice combo finisher. So, remember to use these at wall break. There you go. So, it's nice to end. You know, big damage. But, you know, we always want to consider, when you're playing Guilty Gear, you got a lot of resources to manage. You got your tension bar, your burst, and then your health, but your health should always be up if you're winning. Now, round start is something that is extremely important in any fighting game. It pretty much decides who's gonna win most of the time. So if you're playing Elphelt, best round starts are usually Far Slash, Bomb for a mix-up, or, well, I think that's kind of it, depending on how they work. You always want something fast, which is why I suggest Far Slash all the time. If Far Slash doesn't work, then you've got to find out what your opponent's doing. So maybe they're running straight towards you, so you do a bomb. Maybe they're trying to go into the air, so you do a 6P. You've always just got to find out, but most of the time, if you're playing someone for the first time, always go for a Far Slash, and then you can lead up into Wild Assault. The thing about Elphelt, Far Slash, this round start shouldn't be difficult. In my opinion, it's pretty simple to learn. Far Slash, Wild Assault, Far Slash, Wild Assault, oops, Wild Assault, 6H, Bomb, Dust, and Close Slash. Then you can end it. Now, I'm also just going to say, if you are a beginner, I do not expect you to try and learn this immediately, but it's heavily suggested, in my opinion, that you always go into the lab and learn things about your character and try things out as your character. The most you're going to learn is obviously through playing games, but if you're noticing something, like how someone plays or how something keeps getting you, always go into the lab and try and replicate that. Like, I found out that, here, if we do, nope, that is my buttons. If you go to my counterattack, and we go set that to Volcanic Viper, Soul's big boy. If I press that, it works like that. So it's a, what is it called? A VP. And if you do that, you can get a counter hit. And that's usually when I use 2K to lead into my anti-air. Now, that's just another thing about Elphelt. Obviously in Guilty Gear you shouldn't really be playing in the air, but, or in my opinion, most characters, unless you're playing Milia. But, you know, people have tons of anti-air options, and Soul's Volcanic Viper is just one of those. So, usually what I like to do is I like to do 2K, Dust, and then continue off the ground, because it just gives you a bit of a safer landing. Obviously, it's not going to work all the time, and 6Ps, most 6P anti-airs will still get you. So like that. you'll see that I'm doing exactly everything I did, but I'm still getting hit by the 6P. So this is where you want to shield and try and just wait till they give up their guard. So a couple last things is that you got that. Also grab. Elphelt's grab, and most characters' grabs, you know, are powerful, and they completely reset the tempo. But the way to get to these is different every time. And the best way I find to land grabs is in combos like that. That anti-air is one of my favorites, personally. I think I have that in the 5 combos I would use video. So, you just run back up to them while they're in recovery. I could also just do no counter. So, set him to action 3, do that, and then I run up to him. Do some Roman cancel business. And it's stuff like this that are also make her mix-ups great with the bombs. Because you could try and go behind him, you can go in front of him still. Like, she's got a lot of things to work with. Now, that being said, please remember that the way you play fighting games, you gotta think. I know I'm talking a lot about fighting games as well in general, other than Elphelt, and if you're here and you have played fighting games before, then this is probably a ton of blabbering. It probably is blabbering anyways, but I just want to make sure that it's just drilled into the people's heads that you should be thinking about what you're doing during the game. You should be analyzing your opponent, not just pressing buttons. That's what makes this game fun to me. So, one last thing about Elphelt that I feel like you should know is that if we're doing Roush guard, okay, now he's on all guard, so something to always keep in mind when playing Elphelt and just characters in Guilty Gear in general is always using 2K2D. 2K2D is a nice low to mix into pressure, and it especially works in the corner. Oops. Nope. There we go. So, if someone's, let's say, all guard, you can do some stuff like that. And usually, if you have burst, you can just get some combo stuff off. Get a grab in there. And there. Usually if they give up, you'll hit that and then you can convert off that or whatever. But keeping in the corner, 2K2D is probably my favorite way to just create a bit of pressure. Obviously bomb, and then you can probably get a lucky grab in there when they're not looking, and get a wall break. So other than that, there's not much else I think I have to say about Elphelt. If there's more questions, the comments are a plentiful place to come talk to me. I'm not big at all. I'll see it. One last thing I'd like to mention. If you're wondering why my Elphelt looks the way she does, it's just mods. I'll leave them in the comments if you want the Elphelt to look like how she does here. Because she doesn't get this color, she doesn't get a crop top, and she does not get ears. So I'll leave them in the comments. But other than that, hopefully you learned something from this, and more of Elphelt Nation can enjoy the character. Yeah, that's about it. See ya.